Okay, we are live. If you would just give me a little bit of grace here, I'm trying to push this out to the Facebook community. So just give me a moment here. Whoever just joined, thank you. I'm trying to get this set up so that they can see it live on Facebook. Group. Okay. See if this works. Always learning new things. That's my motto. So sometimes it's a good thing, sometimes not. So it's supposed to just let me click a button and go live. But if not, we'll just go with the whole YouTube thing and be done with that. Yeah, it doesn't. Let me try this. One more thing. Nope, that's not going to work. Okay, we're just going to move forward. Just, I will try to do some work on that offline this weekend, see if we can get it to work. Thank you if you joined us today. Thank you. Hopefully people are finding this. Let me actually post the link directly to the stream in the Facebook group. Share. That way we at least give them something here if they can't find us elsewhere. So today we're going to talk about Inventory Falcon and all of the great things that Inventory Falcon can do for us in terms of creating our listings in Walmart and then also creating shipments over in Walmart. So let's get going right now, and I will share my screen. And hopefully then you will see something, and we want to make sure you guys are seeing it. So let me share this window. And if somebody could help me out, yeah, I see something in the chat. Great, I see it. Wonderful. I'll post a link there for the Pioneer Bundle. If you don't already have it, you can also hit the QR code up here in the upper right corner. I may, let's see. I don't know that I can move the position of that. Maybe I can. Yeah, there we go. Get it out of the way. All right. So Inventory Falcon. Inventory Falcon is one of the newer products put out by the guys at Barter. And what it allows us to do currently is list our inventory. And we can list it seller fulfilled or as WFS items. We are capturing our buy cost and our supplier information. And that's going to be important as phase 2 rolls out this month. And then we can create WFS shipments really easily within the tool. So we want to capture those buy costs and supplier information because reporting is going to be rolling out this month. And we'll do a whole session just on reporting. But as you can see, we've added the dashboard. This is new information. This was just added last week, I believe. And you can see in the dashboard, you can see how many total items you have in your catalog, how many items were listed using Inventory Falcon, any pending shipments that you have, and then any items that are missing data. And that data is needed for reporting. So obviously, we did a lot of listing before Inventory Falcon was a thing. We've done a lot of listing even since Inventory Falcon became a thing. But we have a lot of products that we don't have supplier information or cost information in there. And so we're going to want to add that information. I'm going to come back to this dashboard towards the end because I think then it will make a lot more sense. As we're going through this, if you have any questions, you can put them down in the comments and they'll pop up and I'll hopefully be able to address those. At the end, I'll pause and just, we'll do a free-for-all Q&A. You can ask me anything about Walmart or any of the tools that the Martyr guys do. I also use Flash Pricer currently as my repricer. So happy to answer any questions related to selling on Walmart towards the end. But we want to focus on this tool today, which is Inventory Falcon. So the first thing when you get Inventory Falcon, it's the one product currently that you need to connect your Walmart account to. And so you're going to need to go into the settings here and actually link it to your Walmart account. And that's so Inventory Falcon can push those inventory files to publish the inventory that you're listing over into your account, as well as create the shipment. So that's step one. It won't really do anything for you if you don't connect your Walmart account. So we want to make sure that is done. But then we actually want to go into the add and send items. And so the add and send items is where you are entering your items and all of the information around it. And you can choose to do that within a batch, which basically means I'm creating it so that I can ship it into WFS, or you can just create items without a batch. So we're going to start a new batch, and I'll just call it YouTube. And you can choose whether it's WFS. If it's seller fulfilled, you can just enter a bunch of items seller fulfilled. They won't go anywhere. But we're going to choose WFS, or you can choose no batch. I just want to create the items and get them in the system. But we're going to create a WFS batch called YouTube. If someone could just confirm in the comments that you are seeing what I'm displaying. I just want to make sure, because this is newer software for me that I'm using to connect to YouTube. I want to make sure that you can see my screen. Okay, I'll wait for somebody to reply and we'll just keep moving forward. So here in Inventory Falcon, you can search items by the barcode, by the product name, by the Walmart item ID, or by a SKU if it's a replenishment and you know the SKU, you can search that way. We mostly search, okay, perfect coffee break. Thank you. Appreciate the validation so much. We're going to search by barcode. I have just a plethora of miscellaneous items off here to the side. We may have them listed in inventory. We may not. I don't list everything. I actually have a team of people that help me, a small team, but a team nonetheless. I have two girls who list on Walmart for me here in the warehouse. But we're just going to grab an item. This is actually dog treats that we give my dogs because they come to work with me. So this doesn't have a UPC. We'll choose these dog treats. Okay. So this is an opened package, but we're just demoing the process, so it really doesn't matter. So it's going to search by barcode, and it's going to bring up all of the different items that might be related to this particular item. It's going to put the item first that has the UPC match. So that's going to be the best listing for you to list on, is a UPC match listing in terms of probably the most reviews, probably the most sales, because it is a linked. You might opt to list on maybe a 2-pack listing. You can't list on this 3-pack listing anything with this kind of beige bar that says 2-pack, 3-pack, 6-pack. It's called a virtual bundle, and they aren't available for most of the sellers. It's a beta program, so just don't even try to go there. So we're just going to list on this first listing. We're verifying that the package looks right, the UPC looks like right. I can click here. It will open up the Walmart listing, so I can verify here as well, and I can look and see what it's selling for. Come back to Inventory Falcon, and I say, yep, this is the one that I want, and I'm going to select it. And then it's going to bring up information for me to fill in to get this product listed into my catalog. Anything in orange, these orange boxes, are optional. They are not required. So if you want to zip, zip, zip and just get it listed, you can skip these. But the cost, the source, and this information is going to help you manage your inventory. If you have your expiration dates, eventually there are going to be reports for that. But cost and supplier, cost and source are going to be ways in which you can look at your profit and loss within Inventory Falcon. Hopefully by the end of in the next few weeks, I'll say, but maybe by the end of the month. It's coming soon. So the first thing we want to enter is cost. And I'm just going to say like, oh, I paid $4 for these. I don't know. I don't know how much I paid for them. Where did I get them? So you can see all of my different suppliers are listed here. I'm just going to say it's a Walmart to Walmart flip, whatever. I found them on the clearance aisle. Doesn't really matter because this is, just fictitious. For you, it would matter because you want to be able to look at supplier profitability later on. There are going to be reports. If you're familiar with Inventory Lab for Amazon, a lot of similar reports where you can look and see who's your most profitable supplier. Where does most of your dollars that you're earning coming from supplier wise? Most profitable SKU or category or things like that. So we want to make sure we're entering as much information as possible. Literally a few more seconds on the screen is going to give you so much more data as a seller. I really think that that's important information to have. All right, you can add additional costs here. So like if you want to include like your prep cost or something, if you have that. We want to add an expiration date. Let's see, these are 12/31 of 2025. Your purchase date here. And then we're going to enter our SKU. So I could type a SKU. I could say like, this is kind of my typical format, Zeke's, SKU format. Or I can use this SKU builder. And the SKU builder, if we hit configure, we can choose different fields that we want to add to make a SKU. Okay. So if I want the source, anything in the note area, cost, price, expiration date, I'm going to take notes off, source, cost, expiration date, and I save that. If I hit apply, it automatically builds my SKU out for me. So just a quick way of doing that. If you like that format, great. If you want to have your own format, then you type it in. So it's currently selling for $14.94. This brings in the buy box price. You can modify that. So if you want to sell it for $15.99, like you could do that. We enter the quantity. I bought 10. That's how many I want to ship in. Here, if you are sending it in as individual bags like this, then it's individual. If I am sending in a case of these and they're packed 12, then I would choose case packed, and I would need to enter that there are 12 units per case. But we're going to enter these as individual. We're going to pre-populate the weight and the dimensions for you, but you do need to verify that this is accurate. Walmart does not always bring over accurate information for the weight and dims, and it's just kind of crazy behind the scenes. Like they may have the right information, but it's in the wrong fields. It's very weird. Doesn't seem to impact how they charge us for fees, but it does impact people who are using the API and pulling information across it. So if I weigh this bag of treats, obviously some have been eaten out of this bag. It's actually 12 ounces. So let me put in 12 and I'll change this to ounces. Oop, it did a conversion for me, 12 ounces. This looks like probably about the right dimensions. We'll just say it is. And then we're going to scroll down and we're going to say, does it include an electronic component, chemical, aerosol, pesticide, anything that is obviously aerosol, or like your sprays, like I have a can of insect spray here that we'll talk about. Chemicals is anything that touches your skin, like makeup is a yes there. And when we say yes, we'll enter some additional information. Here, it's got the product name, the brand name. It imports in the main URL for the image. And so, yeah, so we're just looking at all this and saying, verifying and saying, yes, it's good. Like everything looks good. If it does, we click add item and it's going to push that item over into the list of items that I'm shipping in. And you'll see that behind the scenes, it's kind of working to create that item. I don't have to sit here and wait for it. I can go on and add the next item. So that's what I'm going to do while we wait for that one to process. And since I showed the bug spray, let's go ahead and do bug spray because it's got some unique things that we'll need to deal with. And I didn't look and see if Walmart carries all of these. So if it doesn't, we'll move on and pick something else. Okay, looks like it does. That's awesome. All right, so we've got the Zevo crawling insect killer, which is what I have. And we're just going to select that. Buy box price is $18.81. Awesome. Now you'll look and see here that there's already a SKU in here. That means I've already listed this at some point in time. So maybe I got it on clearance or whatever. It doesn't show where I got it, so hard for me to know. But we'll just say it was Walmart clearance. Maybe I didn't get them for 90 cents. That's an incredible deal. Maybe I paid $2.50 this time. Okay, because your costs can vary depending on when you buy things. There's no expiration date on this, so we're good. Quantity, maybe I have 5 of these. If I wanted to update my SKU to include this new buy cost, I could click this SKU update and change my SKU information. But it's going to change it for even if I already have it in stock. So I probably wouldn't, in this case, mess with this. But there is a reason to use that SKU update, and we'll talk about that. The weight is definitely not 13 pounds. It's probably 13 ounces. So let me change this to ounce. Change that to 13. Length is not, it's the same as the width because it's a bottle. So that is inaccurate. We'll fix that. And then we'll come down here to this. It's not electronic. There's no restrictions. It doesn't have a battery, but it is an aerosol. So things that are aerosols or contain chemical components or things like that, you have to give it a little more information. So it's asking how many hazardous components. There's just one. Most things only have one. And then we'll look and see what other information it's asking for. Looks like everything is filled out. Oh, except up here, I missed this. So here it wants a label image. So we're going to choose, and it's going to bring up all of the photos that are on the Walmart website for this item. So this has the ingredients on it. So we're going to say this contains an ingredient list and choose the photo. And then everything should be filled out. And we'll see, we'll hit add item, safety data sheet. And so it needs a safety data sheet. So we're going to hit the plus symbol here. And looks like it didn't find the safety data sheet. So the way that we do that is we go to this website, MSDS, I think. It might be MDSD. Sometimes I forget that. Nope. There we go. MSDS.Walmart source. This is the website. And this, you can search by barcode for SDS sheets. So let's see if it has one for the Zevo. It does. So we're going to click to open, and then we're just going to copy this URL here. And then we can go back, include that. And we should be good to go. I don't know why it's not letting me save. That's very weird. There, we'll put it here. There we go. Now, why is it not? All right, so that's definitely something I need to see what's going on with Edo. Here we go. We got this. Got that. Everything should be here. There we go. Now I think we got it going. Hot dog. Okay. Sometimes just gotta click around and make things happen. All right, so we've got a couple of things still working and processing. We're gonna go ahead and add something else. I have a box of Band-Aids. Always a good thing to have around the warehouse. It's actually rolled gauze. It's not even Band-Aids. So rolled gauze. This UPC ends in 379. This is interesting. So it didn't find the exact UPC, but it did find things that look like the product. So this is one roll, 2 inches by 2.5 yards. So that's a pack of 4. We don't want that one. So it looks like it's this one, even though the UPC doesn't match. That's what my package looks like. So we'll select that one. And again, I'm just going to like pretend I got this on clearance. There's no expiration date. I'm going to apply my SKU builder. Maybe I only got 2 of these. We can see now we don't have any information about weight and measurements. This is why I have a small scale that I keep, next to me, as well as a tape measure just for these purposes. So this is 1 ounce, and my tape measure is probably hidden under something at the moment. So I'm looking. Oh, here it is. It's like it's always right here beside me. And so we're just going to quickly measure this. It is 3.5, 2.5, 2. I don't really worry about what order I put these in. Like, they're just looking at the dimensions. No electronic component, no restrictions, no batteries, not chemical, aerosol, or pesticide. So all of that should be good. We should be able to add this item. Now, this item has come up with this orange symbol, which means there is a problem with this item of some kind. So if I hover over it, it will tell me what the issue is. Like, why did it not completely process? So you can see that the item is under review. That means hazmat review. Because there was not already an SDS sheet attached to it, means that it hasn't been cleared by Walmart. And so Walmart's going to have to go in and look at the SDS sheet, make sure it matches the product and that they approve it to be able to be sent in. I will tell you, most of the time, like things like bug sprays and pesticides, they don't allow it to be sent into WFS. So I was kind of hoping we'd get the red there to like say like this is prohibited, but it's okay. So knowing that this has been submitted, but it's not yet active, I'm going to actually just remove it from the batch because we're not going to be sending it with these other items. So it's just very quickly, just remove it from batch. We're going to add one more item and then I'll show you how to process the batch. So we have a toy. I like toys are usually simple unless they have batteries. So this is just a surprise, this surprise figure in egg. Here's what the packaging, oh, you really can't see that with my, there we go, a little bit further back. So that is what the package looks like. We're going to click select. This is not a profitable item, so I wouldn't suggest buying it, but we'll pretend I got it for $1 and that I don't really care about profit. We'll use our SKU builder. will only buy one, and maybe I'll just say like I'm going to sell it for $9.99. Like I'm hoping Walmart sells out of it. The weight measurement looks right. This, however, does not. Whoever made this listing was lazy and didn't actually measure. It looks like it's 2 inches across, but it's 5 by 5 the other way. So let's go ahead and update this. We want these accurate measurements because when reports come out, Inventory Falcon is going to use this information initially on your profit and loss reports. So it's going to calculate the WFS fees based upon the weights and measurements that are entered. So if you're sloppy and you're entering like everything's a pound, 111, like your WFS costs are going to be way off. Eventually they'll be able to basically match that up to what Walmart actually charges you. But for now, you just want to make sure that these measurements are as accurate as they possibly can be. We don't have any electronic components, restrictions, batteries, no chemical aerosol pesticides. So this one is good. So we'll push that one over as well. So should add that one to our list. You'll see as I've been adding things, the total number of units is updated. So it tells me how many units are going in this shipment. It also tells me the total sales price, my total cost for this, and what my profit would be. So gives me kind of initial information about this in terms of sending it in as a shipment. So while those process, let's go back to the dashboard. And I want to talk to you about this missing data that I told you I'd talk about. So if you've been using Inventory Falcon for a while, you may have entered items and not entered all that information. Or if you had items prior to Inventory Falcon, you would not have that information included either. So they're giving you the opportunity to fill this data in 2 different ways. You can upload a CSV file, so you can look at your SKUs, if you have your pricing information. So if you've kept that in a spreadsheet, for me, I'm going to go out to Flash Pricer, my repricer, and download it there because all of my cost information is in my repricer, and then I will just upload it. Or they're going to gamify this for you, basically to encourage you to do it. And you can start the game by coming in and saying like, oh, what was the cost of this? You know, what was your source for this? Was Target. How many of these did you buy? All of this information. And then you can load the product details for the DIMs and the weight. And just verify that. So you don't have to actually measure everything as long as all of this looks appropriate. You can add your purchase date. I probably would have to go back and look for that, but I'll just say January 1st. Okay. Any notes that you have, quantity, I'm going to say I bought 10, and then you can keep doing that. And they're going to give you points, and I'm sure they'll have some reward system for that. But you'll want to go in and make sure that all of your data that's missing information gets information added so that your reports are as good as they can be. All right, let's go back to our add and send items. What happened to the Band-Aids? I don't know. They disappeared. Let's look real quick. Hang on. I'm going to go to my Walmart actually list here. Let me move this over. Oh, it just logged me out. Hang on just a second. Let me log myself back in. Okay. So looking at my catalog, we'll see the Band-Aids got created. I don't know why they popped off the shipment, so I'll have to message Ito and ask him. So you can see it was listed as a WFS item, and it is published. you'll see the Zevo here was listed, but errored out. So it basically, it's saying it's because it's a pesticide. You cannot send that in. The Zooks were listed, so that's all good. And so we're just waiting for that final item, which was the Hatchimals. It looks like we have an issue here. Oh, this is a great example. I love that this happened. Did not plan for it, but love that it happened. So it's saying, hey, I can't use this SKU because it was previously used with a different G10. Basically, I have to do the SKU update. So I'm going to go to edit, and I'm going to click the SKU update right here. Okay. And it probably is because it did so much abbreviation here. So let me Hatchimals alive line back. So I'm going to change it. And then I'm going to come down. Anytime I do a SKU update, it's going to add additional fields that may need to be filled out. They're going to fill out as many of these as they can. But if there's anything kind of missing information, we want to make sure that it's filled out. So everything looks to be filled. So let's add that. And it should go and start processing that again. So all good. So we'll just give that a second here as well. So while that's running, if you have other questions about Inventory Falcon, I'll definitely check and see, like, I don't know why the Band-Aids just kind of flew off of our shipment. We could go back and add those back in. Where's the, let me grab this. Oh, that's actually the same SKU that I just tried to use. Maybe that's what happened is when I tried to update this, because it was using the same SKU, that it kicked that one out. I would say that's probably what happened. But we can just push it right back over here onto our shipment. So it basically tried to overwrite that SKU, didn't know what to do with it. We'll go ahead and do Band-Aid cause. Change the SKU on this one as well. Everything looks good. This was 1 ounce. It's very, very light. Quantity 2. Key features is missing. Oh, it has to have a minimum of 4 key features. Sure. Easy to use. We'll just add that. Always just have to follow the directions when you get this. With Inventory Falcon, you don't have to convert from seller fulfilled to WFS. No. And that's the amazing, like, I don't even do that when I do it inside of Seller Center. I think that's a very antiquated way. I know a lot of people do teach that. And it does work better for some items, but no, like these automatically just get created as seller fulfilled and converted all at the same time as it's working over here on the right-hand side. So you don't have to do any other steps. They're going to be WFS items ready to ship as soon as you get the validation over here on the right. I'm going to close out this one that is orange. So as those have been processed, they come in here as WFS eligible. So you're ready to go. And that's what really saves time. So as these items complete here, we're going to hit the send all items button once it gets completed, and we'll go straight into a shipment. So I'm just going to try to wait for these green check marks to come in. It's taking a little bit longer than I would like. I know they're working on updates. And so right now things have been a little bit slower because they're adding a lot of these features behind the scenes, especially to Inventory Falcon. But yeah, great question. It's literally for us. You saw how many items we have done over, in our, like if I go back here to home, like we've listed a bajillion items. We literally can list items 10 times faster. And I'm not even joking. We can create shipments probably 5 times faster. It probably has shaved off, if we're doing Walmart all week, I would say it's probably 10 hours of time shaved off for creating the items and creating the shipments. Question: can you sell seller fulfilled and WFS at the same time if you use a different SKU? So this is an awesome question. I actually met with Walmart execs last week on Tuesday, I think it was. And it was all about seller fulfilled. And this was one of the things that I kind of harped on throughout the entire day that I was there, because we met with different people. So I kept bringing it up because currently Walmart does not allow you to have different SKUs on an item. So you only have one SKU. And so if you have some seller fulfilled quantity and then you want to ship some in, so say you have 10 units and you decide, I want to sell 5 seller fulfilled and I want to ship 5 in WFS. They both have the same SKU. So when you ship your 5 in to WFS, you're going to be selling the 5 seller fulfilled until the minute your WFS units check in, and then it's going to sell your WFS units first. And then once those 5 sell out, then the seller fulfilled come back in and those get sold, with a few exceptions, but that's basically how it works. The problem with that is it's really hard to see on your catalog page if you have seller fulfilled items listed in the background behind WFS items, because it doesn't show that you have 10 quantity. It's going to show 5 quantity, and then when it flips to WFS, it'll show 5 quantity. And so a lot of people get confused about their quantities that way. And so I told them, I'm like, you've got to split that out. Like, we have to have different SKUs. We need to be able to sell it both ways, because there's a lot of pros for the customer of us being able to have both type of offers. So currently it's one SKU, and then it's just dependent on your WFS will always override seller fulfilled quantities. But you just want to make sure you don't double list. Like, if those 10 items, if I shipped all 10 in, if I don't zero out the seller fulfilled items, it will still think I have them. So yeah, it's very confusing. I explained to them, I said, not only is it bad from the seller perspective, it basically results in a lot of canceled orders on the customer side because people's quantities are all screwed up. They don't understand it. It's not real clear. And so it's just a bad customer experience too. And so I shared that with them because, like, they need to know, like, it's just not good for anybody. So that's kind of where we are. All right, so we're just going to imagine that these are all green. It normally does not take this long. Who knows what's going on. So then you would just hit send all items, saying like, wait until all the items have finished processing. Yeah, I'd love to. Let me do a refresh and see if that helps. Oh, that got the second one. This one is one that we entered at the very beginning. If this doesn't pop over, we'll just delete it. But usually my girls, like, they're entering 30, 40 items at a time. So by the time they finish, like, they're all processed. We'll just pitch this one right now. All right, so we'll pretend all the items have processed. So then we're going to just hit send all items. We have our address that populates. When do we think this is going to get to WFS? It kind of puts in a 2-week default. No, we're going to ship it out today. They're going to have it next week. So I usually use a week in advance. I then hit the create button, like the little truck that moves across the screen. It says, oh, the shipment was done. There are 2 items, 3 quantity. I can click this button. It's going to open up Seller Center, my WFS shipments. And then from here, I just tell it what my box sizes are, what the weights are, and we just kind of move through this, and we get our pricing and print our labels, and we're done. Like, that's it. So it's so fast to create the shipment because you're basically creating the shipment as you're creating the items. So super, super easy. Real quick, I'll just go ahead and create a no batch and kind of show you that. I'll just scan this. So this would be if I don't want to ship stuff in. Maybe I'm just going to list everything seller fulfilled. Here's our item. Notice it just brought this item up because there were no other options for this. We're going to pretend I bought this for $1. Apply. Yeah, everything's coming up because of the way I did my SKU thing. Stitch, blind bag. Okay, I'm just going to say I have one of these. Weights and measurements are good. That's all good. All right, and you just click add item, and the same thing. It's going to go over, it's going to create it. It's just we're not sending the item. So we can also view our catalog here within Inventory Falcon. So you can see, you get a little sneak peek of some of the items I have listed. I'll just tell you straight up, I do a lot of demos, like not everything I'm actually selling, but it will bring up the catalog here. And so we can see quantities and information like that. You are able to bring over a buy list from Martyr. So if I have a buy list like this, I can bring over items directly from the buy list. So if you're using the Martyr app or the Chrome extension and you're adding items to your buy list as you go, you won't have to scan them. You can just come in here and move them directly over as you need them. So that's really cool. Can you add items to a batch that you already have listed as seller fulfilled? Yeah, let's show you. Let's see. Let me get out of this screen. Close. I'll go to my catalog. That was the item that we just added, seller fulfilled, but I'll find a different one. Let's filter. Fulfillment type, seller fulfilled. I'll just make sure it's not a pesticide item. All right, here we go. Here's something seller fulfilled. I'm going to just grab the SKU. And then I'm going to come over here to add items. And then I'm going to search by SKU. And then we'll select that item that's already in my catalog, and it will do the conversion for me, as well as add it to the batch to ship in. So again, like if you add stuff maybe in store as seller fulfilled, like just be a quick and easy way to do this. Looks like my buy cost is $6 on this. I'm going to make this up. I normally wouldn't do that, but for the sake of just going through this. And then I add that item. And I forgot. This is also a really great thing. So remember, I just was talking about how you can't have seller fulfilled WFS as the same SKU. So it recognizes that I have this listed as seller fulfilled in my inventory. And it's like, hey, you have 7 items listed seller fulfilled. Do I want to zero them out? So that maybe I'm sending all 7 of those in. I can make a selection here. I can say, no, I want to keep those seller fulfilled. I bought different ones that I'm sending in. Or I could say, oh, yeah, like I need to zero those out and we need to send those in. So I'm going to say no because I want mine to be seller fulfilled. But normally you would say yes and zero those out. So it's nice to have kind of that reminder so that you aren't double listing things. If I created 2 batches by accident, can I combine them to put in one box? Not the way it currently works. So every batch, basically, when you hit send all items is when it's going to send it over into Walmart. And it's pretty much done and kind of like, it's kind of got a box around it at that point. If you created a batch here, and then you created another batch and you haven't sent them yet, it would probably be just a matter of moving those items over by going and selecting the SKU and getting them all into one batch. So merging batches and stuff, they haven't built that out yet. I'm sure it will be coming. We've also asked them to allow for once it gets sent to Walmart to like not lock it. Like have it open so I could add some more items if I wanted to. So hopefully those options will be coming soon. But yeah, great question, because I know that's something that probably would happen. All right. Any other questions? There will be a lot more to talk about in Inventory Falcon once the reports are released. I'm really excited about it. I've seen a preview of them. Like, I'm super jazzed. Like, I think it's going to make everybody better sellers, more aware of their numbers, and making sure you're being profitable. So all of that's, I think, just money, like just really good stuff. And it's, if you're part of the Pioneer Bundle, like all of these updates you get for free. So like if you already have the product, they're not charging you extra for all the reporting functionality. So I definitely, and any new stuff that gets built out most likely will be included in the Pioneer Bundle. So we definitely recommend that. It's the best value probably on the market almost for the types of software that you get with it. And we'll be covering all of those softwares every Tuesday and Thursday at 2. I'm going to do one of these live sessions. Each one will be focused on a product. Then I'll probably do one that's just live sourcing that kind of combines using a bunch of different tools. And then we'll just rinse and repeat and do it again. So the video processes pretty quickly. Like, give it 15, 20 minutes, and it should be available on the YouTube channel under lives to watch again. So you can definitely watch it as often as you like. Also on the YouTube, if you guys can do me a favor and like the videos, that helps the algorithm. If you feel like subscribing, you get notified every time I go live. And I go live not just on Tuesdays and Thursdays, like sometimes just on the weekend, I go crazy and do some live sourcing. And I also try to post a lot of videos up there. So we'll be posting some additional video content on all the products as well over the next couple of weeks. So just trying to make sure that everybody understands what they have, and if they don't have it, why they need it. So. All right. Any other questions? Even like, don't have to be product related. I'm happy to answer anything related to selling on Walmart or Amazon. Guys have some great Amazon software too. So happy to answer any questions you have. Asked you a question on Facebook about adding items to my Google Sheet from the Martyr, since you said you cite. Yeah, I can show you that. Sure. Yeah, because I didn't know if I was being clear or not. So the Martyr extension down at the bottom has this copy row to be able to add information to a Google Sheet or to an Excel document or whatever. You can actually customize what fields you want and the order that you want them in by clicking that button off to the left-hand side. It looks like a little starburst or something. And this cite button, the cite right here, is what has the actual source URL. So for example, let me close this and go to a non-Walmart site, target.com. Okay, let me just put in Barbie, because that's something I know we probably can find. That is over. Okay, this one probably is on Walmart. Twinkle Lights Mermaid Doll. Search in Martyr. I know I'm going fast, but I do cover that in the Martyr session. So you can go back and watch the last live or hit me up the next time. We'll select this. And we'll put some pretend numbers in there. We're going to say that we're selling this for $49.99, which would be insane. And we buy it for $23.99. I'm on the Target site, okay? If I click here, it would take me to the Walmart page for that item. Okay, but I'm on the Target site. I go down here to the bottom and I hit this copy row. Now let me open up. I use Excel more than I do Google Sheets, but let me Here we go. Blank. Okay. If I click right here and I hit copy, paste. Sorry, I've already copied. Okay, I'm going to make this bigger so you can see the picture that comes across. There's the Walmart URL, okay, for this item. Here's the Target URL, which is what site I was on when I found it. So is that what you were looking for? I guess should be the first question. because I do this, I have a leads list, and this is the exact format that my leads come in, so that you have both of those links. There might be a delay from you posting until I see your comment, but hopefully that was what you were asking for. And I think it's amazing. Like, if you have a VA sourcing for you, like, oh, you can't see the Excel. Okay, give me a second. I thought I did. There we go. Now you should be able to see it. So here is the Walmart URL for this item on Walmart. Here is the site. That's the URL that we were on when we found the item. So yeah, perfect. And so you can customize. Okay, I think am I not sharing now? I think I wasn't sharing, but I think I am sharing now. You should see an Excel document with a Barbie in the first line. I'm just going to wait patiently for someone to tell me that, yes, they can see it. Because my screen over here looks like it is sharing it, but I just want to make sure. That was part of the issue we had with doing it straight in YouTube and not through software, is it just stopped sharing my screen. Okay, yes, okay. Sorry, I think there probably is a delay from you guys posting until I see it in my screen. But yes, thank you. I know a different button I need to click so that anything I throw up there shows up. So yeah, so this is great. Like, if you have a VA sourcing for you, like I said, like, I use it for my leads list, so people have like all the information about ROI and profit and costs and all that kind of stuff. And it's completely customizable through this right here. And you can do different like orders and save them. So like, if I go to my default order, like, I can change this. I can click things off. I enter some blank spaces because I want to put notes in and stuff. So you can move these around by just clicking and dragging. And then you can add blank spaces and you can click and drag those around. And then you can just save it as like new order, like whatever you want to call it. And then you can come in here and you can select which one you want when you are doing your copy function. And so if you use a VA, just like give them directions on how to do that. Maybe I'll just make a little quick video on it and post it on the YouTube for you guys, because it might be super helpful to send to a VA or anybody else that's sourcing for you. Or if you're just creating buy sheets for yourself or like things to look at later, hopefully that's helpful. All right. Any other questions? I have about 5 minutes left that I can spend with you today. And then I'll be back again next Tuesday. I think Tuesday is Ani Seller, I think. Let me peek real quick. Yes. So next Tuesday, we'll be talking about Ani Seller, which is a spreadsheet scanner. So basically, like, if you get an Excel list from a company, a wholesaler, distributor, there's a lot of companies that will give you their entire catalogs as an Excel. All you basically need is a UPC and price, and you can send that through Ani Seller to show you profitable products. So it's super cool. I was like, I probably won't use that much. Oh my word, I've used it so much. We've scanned so many different things. How do I see if I'm gated on a product? Well, great question. You can tell to a degree on Martyr. So what we did on Martyr is we did this crowdsourcing method that if other people were having to get ungated on a product, they would click report gated. And after so many reports, it turns to this like gold color, like yellow gold. So this means people can sell Barbie, but you have to ungate the Barbie brand. If you see red, that means you cannot sell that brand at all. So like, let me go, I think, nope, boop, boop, right here. True. I think this one is marked in Martyr. And they aren't all, like, we try to get as many as we can. But it's hard. The reason why it's harder for Walmart is because with Walmart, they don't yet. So see how it's red? This means nobody can sell this brand. Like nobody, unless somehow the brand like approves them. So you have 2 sellers on here, Walmart, and then probably this is an approved brand approved. The other way that you can know for sure is to list it in inventory, Falcon. So here we go. I will list an item. I'll show you guys an item that I know that I am gated in. So I'm just going to do a product search. Yay, yes, that I am sharing the right thing. So we'll just say that I'm going to sell this KitchenAid mixer. I'm going to get rid of this real quick. We'll say I bought it for the low price of $199. I only bought one. Okay. We'll pretend it weighs like, I don't know, 8 pounds. They are not light. And we'll add the item. So this may take a second because it will have to try to process it. And then it will come up and it will tell me that it's gated. And that it's a gated brand and it requires approval. So as long as it says you need approval, that's something that you actually can apply to sell. And so applying for ungating on Walmart is pretty simple. You basically try to list a product that you're gated in. You then open a case with the trust and safety team and say, I would like to ungate KitchenAid. They will email you back. Sometimes it takes a few days, sometimes a few weeks, and during Q4, a few months. So do everything before Q4. And they will say, hey, I see you want to sell KitchenAid. If you want to sell KitchenAid, you need to answer these like 7-8 questions and just answer them completely honestly. Don't make stuff up. And then attach your receipts and or invoices for the brand. And so you do that and send it back. Everything looks good. They'll say, great, you're approved to sell, and you go on your happy, merry way. And I do recommend, like, we are getting close to Q4, guys. Any brands that you want, you should start getting approval in yesterday. So, you know, in the toy category, that's Pokemon, Barbie, Disney, Squishmallows. You know, I'm sure there's a bajillion more. You know, in health and beauty, that's KitchenAid, Oral-B. You know, there's a bajillion over there too. So anything you think you might be selling during Q4, I would try to do the ungating process. If you were able to add a brand to a WFS shipment successfully in Seller Center, I'm fully approved to ship and sell this item through WFS. Yeah, so like in your catalog, as long as it's published, you're good. So I'll show you what it looks like in your catalog if you're not able to sell. So here's this KitchenAid that we just posted. See how it says error? And I click on this and it says it requires pre-approval. That means ungating in Walmart lingo. So yeah, anything that's like that, then you just have to go through the process to apply to ungate, and then you'll be good to sell. But as long as it comes across as published in the catalog, then you're golden and you can ship those items in, all that good stuff. So obviously it's already pushed it over into Walmart. It's waiting to receive just received the data back. That orange mark means it's not terrible news, but it is like that cautionary tale. And it, again, gives me the same exact verbiage that it requires pre-approval. So when you're in store and you are, here we go, with your Martyr app, you can add an item in the Martyr app at the bottom. And so you can add that item in store and see if you're gated or not. So I've been doing that a lot with new brands that I haven't sold before. And then I just go to the Walmart seller app, which is now available for everybody, to see if it actually got published into my inventory. All right, guys, that's going to close us out for today. Again, I'll be back on Tuesday to talk about OmniSeller. And then on Thursday, we are going to talk about Histamart, which is analyzing historical data, basically like a keep a chart. It's analyzing that historical data to make buying decisions about products. So hopefully you can join me Tuesday, Thursday. If not, you can hit the replays on the YouTube channel. That's Ecom Boost is the YouTube channel. Go under lives and you'll see the live videos. Like and subscribe if you feel so inclined. But yeah, this is great. I'm glad you learned stuff. That's what I'm here for. I want to help everybody out as much as possible. So thanks a lot, and we will see you next time.